the trend that at least AAA games have been making as far as like game trailers and game marketing goes is they almost want to make it look like it's a trailer for an action movie, and they want to sort of pull people in that way and say like, oh, look at all this, you can explode things, look at, you know, this cool character is like so awesome and rugged and he's got an AK-47, and because there's this disconnect that between movies and between games, and that's, you know, gameplay amongst other things. But I think it's people don't quite realize how to show people what the gameplay is like through a trailer. There are a lot of really good AAA games out there that I never would have picked up just looking at the trailer, just because it seems very marketed towards a young teenage boy audience, pretty much, with all these like action-packed kind of things. And I'm someone who is more into the story of a game than I am, you know, blowing things up, even though my GTA experience would say otherwise. But
Because you've said you burned a lot of hours in Grand Theft Auto multiplayer. What do
Mhm.
you get out of multiplayer?
For me, it's because usually when I'm playing alone, I'm very campaign and story focused. When multiplayer comes along, that pretty much just goes out the window. It's almost entirely just trying to play with friends that I know either in real life or online, um, in a virtual setting. And there's something that's sort of special about being able to have a physical presence and being able to like play games and do stuff with your friends when in reality, you know, I mean, it's images on a screen, but it feels like you're actually right there with them. I trash talk a lot. Like like I don't try to make anything super personal, but it's kind of normal for when my friends and I get into a multiplayer game, we can be having like this awesome intellectual discussion, whatever, 1 minute, talking about our lives and friends, etc. The next, and then the next, we're just completely like, shitting on each other and just going to town and trash talking, and it's a fun experience that way.
I find there are a lot of games that, yes, it's primarily aimed at men, but I don't feel excluded from it. What's been your experience?
hmm I think I would agree with you there. Like, there are a lot of games I hear the whole, you know, there's a lot of male protagonists and not a lot of female protagonists comes up pretty often. But for me, usually when I'm playing a game, I try to play through the character's perspective rather than, you know, picturing myself in the game. Life is Strange was kind of special in that sense because the character, you know, she's 17, I'm 22. She had a lot of like crazy stuff going on her senior year of high school, and I guess I could just sort of relate to that, and that was why I was so drawn in. So it helps when I have a character I can relate to, but if a game is good, like it's going to be good regardless of the protagonist.
Your friends give you a really hard time about liking Life is Strange. What I'm wondering is, why do you think they're so invested in what games you like?
I think it's a matter of, I mean, right now we have a lot of stuff going on in sort of the political sphere surrounding gaming. So there's been a lot of pushback against things that could be considered like overly feminist in gaming. And I think that Life is Strange is one of those games that was immediately labeled as overly feminist because it starred two young girls in high school, and you know they're both sort of humanities type artsy people and kind of hipstery. um, I think that once people played it, they found that it wasn't like this grand evil game, but the association still kind of stuck. I think it's our, whether it's friendly or whether it's not, it's sort of in our human nature to feel superior and feel the need to be condescending towards people who are not on our tier. People will yell at you, people will be disappointed in you, but in the end it's because they're trying to push you to be a better version of yourself, a better player, a better gamer, what have you. I mean, I've sort of been there too, where I've started to like catch myself getting too serious
Mhm.
about something, getting too aggressive, where I kind of have to stop and be like, I'm sorry I said that, like, I'm sorry, you know. And I think that I'm sort of an outlier in the sense that I actually apologize. If I were on the other end of that, like, imagine how that would make me feel or how I felt before.